If you're thinking about buying the Razer Ornata V3 keyboard, hold up, because there's more you need to know before hitting that buy button. Yes, it's a sleek, low-profile keyboard with that cool combo of mechanical and membrane switches, promising to give you the best of both worlds. But here's what surprised me. It's not as perfect as Razer's marketing suggests. In fact, some of its quirks might actually frustrate you more than help your gaming or typing experience. And this is coming from someone who has tested almost every gaming keyboard under the sun. Stick around because I'm about to break down exactly why the Ornata V3 might not be the keyboard you think it is, and whether it still deserves a place on your desk. Now, before I lose you, let me share a quick secret. Despite some glaring issues, this keyboard has hidden gems that can make it worth your while, if you know what you're getting into. So who is the Razer Ornata V3 really for? If you want flashy RGB lighting and a hybrid switch experience without breaking the bank, it might just fit. But if you're a hardcore mechanical keyboard enthusiast or someone who craves absolute reliability, you might want to pause. I'll explain why. Let's dive deep. First off, the Razer Ornata V3 sports what Razer calls Mecha-Membrane switches. What does that even mean? It's supposed to combine the tactile, clicky feel of a mechanical switch with the softness and quietness of a membrane keyboard. On paper, it sounds like the perfect balance, kind of like ordering a burger that's half steak and half tofu. But in practice, this combo sometimes feels like biting into a burger that forgot to bring the steak. The typing experience doesn't fully satisfy either camp. The tactile feedback is decent, but it's not as crisp as a genuine mechanical keyboard, nor is it as soothing as a thick membrane keyboard. This leaves you stuck in the awkward middle ground. Now hold that thought, because here's where the story gets interesting. The keyboard comes with UV-coated keycaps, which means the letters are more resistant to fading over time. For gamers or typists who pound the keys like it owes them money, this is a major win. Regular keyboards can end up looking like old typewriters after a few months, but these key legends stick around longer. It's a small but mighty detail that shows Razer was thinking about durability here. Speaking of durability, another feature that stands out is the magnetic soft-touch wrist rest. This is gold if you spend long hours gaming or typing. I've tried wrist rests that slide around like they want to escape the desk, so the fact that this one snaps on magnetically and stays put is refreshing. Plus, it's soft enough to keep your wrists comfortable without sinking so much that it strains your hands. Ergonomics matter, folks, especially when carpal tunnel is lurking like a gaming specter. But before you get too comfortable, I need to talk about the ultra-slim form factor. On the surface, having a low-profile keyboard sounds like a dream. Slimmer keys, shorter switches, less strain on your hands. However, if you're used to the satisfying clack of taller mechanical switches, this can feel underwhelming. It's like transitioning from riding a Harley to a scooter. It gets you where you need to go, but it's missing some of that muscle. Here's a question for you. Are you the type of gamer who needs fast, precise input with every keystroke shouting confidence? Or are you someone who values quiet and comfort more? Because the Ornata V3 tries to sit on both thrones but doesn't fully reign supreme on either. It's a compromise, and compromises usually mean you don't get everything you want. And yes, it's only $59.99, which feels like a steal for a Razer keyboard with chroma RGB lighting, durable keycaps, and dedicated media keys. But the question is, does a low price make up for those compromises? That's the hook I keep coming back to. For casual gamers or office warriors who want a sturdy keyboard without spending a fortune, it could be a solid pick. But if you're craving a keyboard that feels like a prized possession rather than a budget-friendly gadget, you might want to keep looking. By the way, you might wonder about the RGB lighting here. Razer's Chroma RGB has become legendary. It's bright, customizable, and adds that gamer aesthetic that some people just can't live without. Ornata V3 doesn't disappoint here. It delivers that rainbow spectacle with plenty of preset effects and customization options through Razer Synapse software. This is perfect if you want your desk to look like a mini light show. Just don't blame me when your cat gets mesmerized and starts pawing the glowing keys like they're part of some alien puzzle. Now for a light side story. While testing the Ornata V3, I accidentally spilled a little water on the keyboard. Classic mistake, right? But the Mecha-Membrane switch design and the UV-coated keycaps seem to handle it better than expected. No immediate key failures or stickiness. So if you're a klutz like me who occasionally drinks their caffeine a bit too close to their gear, that durability is a consolation prize worth noting. However, not all is rosy. One problem many users report, and I can personally confirm, is the feel of the dedicated media keys. They look fancy and almost beg to be used, but they're not always as responsive as you'd hope. Sometimes you need to press a little harder or multiple times to get the keyboard to pick up the command. For something that's supposed to make life easier, pausing, playing, skipping tracks, it's mildly infuriating. It's like having a car with a laggy gas pedal. It gets there eventually, but why the delay? Also, the slim keycaps have pros and cons. On one hand, they're easier on the hands for long sessions, but on the other hand, some users might find the keys slippery or less tactile because they're thinner. Compared to standard mechanical keycaps, these can feel less satisfying under the fingertips, which could be a deal-breaker for passionate typists who live for that clicky feedback. And don't expect to do easy custom keycap swaps either. Razer's keycap profile here is fairly proprietary. Here's a nerdy joke for the gamers out there. Why don't keyboards ever get tired? Because they're always switching gears. Okay, not my best, but it fits here perfectly. Now, if you're someone who frequently streams or records content, the Ornata V3's compact and low-profile design might actually help you look less bulky on camera. Bulky gaming keyboards can hog your desk space and your aesthetic. This keyboard's slim frame means more room for your mouse, mic, and other streaming essentials. So, in that sense, it's a win for content creators looking to keep their setup clean and modern. I also want to highlight the software experience. Razer Synapse is both a blessing and a curse. It lets you customize every inch of that RGB lighting and reprogram keys, but it can occasionally be glitchy or overly complicated for beginners. If you're not comfortable installing software or don't want a background app running all the time, you might find this annoying. However, for power users who enjoy tweaking every detail, it's a necessary evil. By this point, you might be wondering, is this keyboard worthy of its 4.6-star rating on Amazon? Well, ratings often reflect a wide variety of expectations and user types. For the casual gamer or office user, the Ornata V3 hits the sweet spot of quality, price, and features. For the mechanical keyboard purists or those demanding flawless media keys and ultra-responsive switches, it's going to feel average or worse, frustrating. Okay, quick joke break. Why did the gamer bring a ladder to the keyboard? Because they heard the Ornata V3 was low profile, but they wanted a higher view. All right. The jokes are coming faster than my reaction time in a shooter game. So how do you decide? Here's the takeaway. The Razer Ornata V3 is for those who want a stylish, affordable keyboard that looks great, won't wear out fast, and offers decent comfort for long sessions. It's for users who juggle between gaming and typing, and appreciate a bit of RGB flair without needing tournament-level precision. However, if you're seeking a purely mechanical switch experience or flawless media keys, this keyboard might leave you wanting. Before wrapping up, let's talk about value. At $59.99, this feels like a budget keyboard masquerading in Razer's premium design. But prices on Amazon fluctuate like a boss fight's health bar. So if you're seriously considering this, check the link in the description for the best price, because deals can disappear faster than your FPS in a boss fight. In the end, don't buy the Razer Ornata V3 expecting a mechanical keyboard clone. Instead, Buy it knowing it's a hybrid, a keyboard that tries hard to blend comfort, durability, and affordability with a few trade-offs. It's a solid stepping stone if you want to get into gaming keyboards, or if you simply want a keyboard that looks sharp and won't fade fast. To close, here's one last joke just to send you off with a smile. Why did the keyboard break up with the mouse? Because it just wasn't clicking anymore. If you found this review helpful, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment about your experience with the Ornata V3 or what keyboard you're eyeing next. Remember, the best price is waiting for you in the description below, but it won't wait forever. Grab it while the deal's hot, and happy gaming.